Whatever way you want to slice it. Whee!
No
And
way, Mr. Steve.
oh, that's right, Mr. Steve. We shall call him Mr. Steve. Yes, that is
Mr.
correct.
Steve.
Mr. Steve in the top right hand blue corner.
Yes, that is your
Right.
name now.
So I'm a little bit late starting. I had some technical difficulties with Streamlabs.
Yes, I think, yeah, that's fine though. We're all here. We're ready,
And yes, we're all ready to go.
waiting
We'll
for
be
Mr.
fast and
Steve.
we'll be slow. And we're ready to go. My fucking daughter just copied what?
What? I'm not sure why Freddy's laughing, but okay. Said a knock knock joke, I think. Joking. Don't mute me. It's okay. Mute me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast, episode 22. How is everybody today? Freddy Show, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Good.
I have half a kitchen, so all is well.
Oh, great.
Half a
Half a
kitchen.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And Beth, how are you doing
Hello.
today? Hello.
I am well, thank you. How are you,
Good.
Mr. Steve?
Mr. Steve.
Steve.
That's still a thing.
Yeah,
It will forever
it's
be a thing. It will
it
never
will
go
never
away.
not be a thing.
Yeah, I can't even remember why that is a thing, but yeah. Welcome everyone to the Bits and Pieces podcast. And as always, as I said, we've got our two guests, the Fridge Show and Pizza Beth. We always do a spotlight. We try to do a spotlight, and a spotlight is usually a game that we've played either just recently or a game from a couple of years ago, a few years ago. Just because the podcast is fairly young, we couldn't bring those games to you. So we just thought we would remind ourselves of what great games they were. And we've got a couple of games. I think each of us got something to speak about today. Later on, we might have a little bit of news. And we are going to have, I think Pizza normally has a joke of the week. So
Yes,
hopefully.
I do.
So yeah. Well, I think we should let's start off then. Who wants to throw their card into the hat first on this one, on their spotlight? And
I think Beth can go first.
I think
Me?
Beth. You got what?
Ladies first and all that.
Ladies first.
For the gentlemanly way.
I'm very prepared.
You're very prepared. That's more than I can say for myself.
Yeah.
So whilst I continue to prepare myself, so what game are you going to spotlight this week?
Well, I guess it's not an overall spotlight. It's more of a first impressions.
First impression.
Because the game recently came out, and I haven't finished it yet, so I can't really say, can't fully, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna talk about a little bit about Tinyness Wonderland. It's everywhere right now. Well, not everyone, but most people are playing it right now. And I didn't play because there was a DLC, I think, that this is kind of based on. But I'm not quite sure. But it's basically Borderlands, but it's got Tiny Tina, it's got Valentine, and it's got a robot called Fretta. I won't give any spoilers, obviously, because I haven't finished the game, so I can't really give much spoilers. So, I will say that so far, it's been a very enjoyable experience. There's so much there's so much to do in the game, and like Borderlands games always have like collectibles. It has silly quests, jokes, Easter eggs, really unique weapons, and that's no exception. Like in this game, it's got everything. It's got great quests. It's got great characters. There's different areas that you can go to which have been really fun to explore and go to. Um, luck Fortunately, I got gifted the game, which I'm very, very grateful for, and that's enabled me to be able to play the game. There's co-op, which is there's co-op, which I've tried it. I was before we started the podcast. I was playing with Spoonfed Badger, which I go check out. I was playing with him on co-op, and that was running fairly smoothly. Sometimes we had problems. Um, there was an issue. There's quite an issue where it the what the what's it called? Um, the what's my train of thought? To be honest, someone said Easter eggs in my chat, and I'm distracted now.
Chocolate, the killer of all conversations. So, let's
Yeah.
have some chocolate. There you go.
Um.
Don't read
So
chat.
yeah.
That's the
I
best
can't
advice.
remember. Oh my god, this is
That's it.
embarrassing.
She's discombobulated
Oh.
now. That's it.
I am.
That's it.
What was
Broke. That's it. End the stream.
what was
Done.
I talking? What was I talking about? Can you tell me what I was
Talking about co-op. How
Easter eggs.
Right.
Easter eggs. Chocolate.
Co-op. I was playing with Spoon. It was going well. Oh yeah, there's a connection issue. There's a constant connection issue where you disconnect and connect. It doesn't really affect the
That's annoying.
gameplay. It doesn't affect the gameplay too much, but a message keeps coming up, and that's annoying. But yeah, so the quests are fun. Guns are awesome. There's electric, poison, fire. There's multiple classes that you can choose. A few are the spore warden, spell shot, graveborn. I don't remember the rest, but the one I'm playing, basically you choose one at the start of the game, and then halfway through you get to actually choose a second one, so you can kind of combine two classes together. So I've done spell shot and graveborn, and they're connected now, so I can unlock the Greyborn skills and the spell shots skills. Oh, Berserker, that was another one. And that kind of, I've already planned. I'm playing through again. I'm gonna play through it again, and I'm gonna create a character, a different one, and go through it. Yeah, so I'm on chapter 7 right now, and I've been doing a load of side missions as well. They're so fun, so quirky. So it's so fun, and it's kind of refreshing to not go through the traditional Borderlands story. Like it's kind of the same with like that Siren Lady and all that. And it's kind of just taken a twist, and it's taken D&D and Borderlands and just put it together, and it's so fun, so unique, and I recommend
I wish I
if
bought
you're
it now.
yeah. I mean, obviously it's only just come out, so it's gonna be expensive.
Yes.
So I personally would say that it's worth the money. But wait for a sale. Always wait for a sale because
obviously, yeah.
your sales are great. So I recommend this if you're a Borderlands fan, a D&D fan as well. And yeah, it's just I've been having so much fun, and it's the Easter eggs are great. What can I say? The Easter eggs are great. The quests are fun. It's funny. It's very funny. It's hilarious, actually. Hilarious. I'm just gonna take a quote from the game, real quick. Uh, that I've done. Like, I don't have that much to say. Just I wanted to say my first impressions. Uh, but a quote from the game. So there's these skeleton enemies, and one line that they say is what is it? It's ooh, a talking skeleton, how spooky, as they're running towards you. And it's
All
just
right.
it's so funny. Yeah, just some of the stuff they've come up with and stuff. And yeah, just check it out if you're like a Borderlands fan or a D&D fan.
Right.
And yeah, awesome.
I have a question for you, Beth.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it better than Borderlands 3?
I would say so. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. As
Yes.
Borderlands 3 was the weakest in the series and the most broken in
Yeah.
terms of performance. So
So,
do you play on PC or console?
well, PC.
So would you say it runs okay on PC?
Yes, it runs very well. There has been a blisters, but that it's very rare. Like it's happened like once or
Yeah,
twice.
same with all PC games. But for the most part, it's fairly
Yeah, it
enjoyable,
runs
smooth. Yeah.
great. Yeah.
It's not. You
It's
wouldn't say it's a console port. You would say it's
no,
decent on
it's
PC.
yeah, it's not a port or anything.
So
It works fine.
that's
It's
exactly what it says in the tin.
yeah, the
It works.
performance
It
is
just
wonderful.
works.
Yeah, the performance is great, and
Right, brilliant. That's definitely a must buy then. If you
yeah,
love D&D and first person shooters, and
yeah, Borderlands.
Borderlands, the first Borderlands was one of my favorite first person shooters ever. Like
Yeah,
without a doubt, I loved that game to death. I played it through about 6 times with every class, and I tried to I failed getting the achievements, but I tried.
yeah, yeah.
I'm already not very good at first person shooters back in the day. And then I had the second one, which I bought 6 times.
6 times. Why?
Yes, because I bought it once on Steam, then I
Yeah.
bought it again to play with my mates on Steam, and then just disappeared on me. And then I bought it again on Epic Games. No, Epic Games Store gave it away for free. Then I bought it on um, the Switch.
Okay.
And then I bought it on Xbox, PlayStation 4,
Oh my
Xbox
god.
One. Right,
Oh,
I've owned a sort of
that's
a bazillion copies of Borderlands 2 just to find people to play with.
okay.
Like, this is before the days of of our brilliant friendships now. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I was plowing the internet for please play with me gaming buddies. So I literally I
I'll play
gave
with
up in the
you.
end. Oh yeah, I have a friend. No, but no, Borderlands 2 is really good. One of my favorite Borderlands 1 and 2, one of my favorite first person shooters ever.
Yeah.
The
What was I never played 3. What was wrong with it, in your
it
opinion?
didn't work. It still doesn't work. It's
In
broken. It's
in way?
fundamentally broken on PC. Console, it works fine.
It's
Borderlands 3 suffers from that usual adage, the console port,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's because it was an exclusive. I don't know if it's on Steam. I think it's still exclusive on Epic Games, and this is when
Yeah.
Epic Games is still in its infancy in buying up every IP known to man. So they didn't really and Bethesda got into a lot of. It's Bethesda that makes it, isn't it, or is it the Gearworks software? Is it Gearworks?
Gearworks, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gearbox. Gearbox. Sorry, Gearbox.
Gearbox,
It's
that's
yeah,
yes.
Gearbox. So they were getting into a lot of flack from a really poor port and not optimizing the PC. And it did dip a lot of sales on
You know,
on
uh,
the Borderlands 3. So when this was made,
yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna wait for it to come out. And it's
yeah.
the first Borderlands game I've never pre-ordered. So I've bought everything in the series, all the DLC,
Mm,
everything, because I'm a big fan.
yeah.
And it's the first, when they say don't pre-order, and I said it myself, don't pre-order, wait for the game to come out. And I took my own
Yeah.
advice, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I just bloody pre-ordered the damn game when I had the money now, because now I don't have the money, and now I've got a sad face.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can't play it now.
I, I someone gifted me Borderlands 3 a while back, and we played a group of me and some other friends played through it, and I having stuttering issues, and I thought it was just my PC because my
No,
PC
nice
crap.
software.
It was crap. So
Yeah,
you know,
the
I
poorly
I
optimized game won't help it. Won't help it.
yeah.
And
So
on
I
an old
was
PC.
I had problems. It was just so now that you've said that, I know why it was so bad. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll try again. But
I've
like,
tried to return to it, but it's still broken. So
yeah. It looked cool. It had a cool concept. The DLC looked really cool as well.
Yeah,
Like the Handsome Jack Casino, and
yeah.
I started that, but I never finished it. So maybe I'll play it again
Right,
just
well,
to
I
see
want. I
how
mean,
bad it.
if, well, I'm talking. No, I'm not interrupting you by accident.
No,
Um,
no, it's cool.
like so. There you go. We'll pencil it in. We'll play through Borderlands 3 at some point in the future, and we'll move on with the podcast because I think Steve's sitting there going, "Come on, mate."
Yeah, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up!
I
Come
was
on,
Yeah,
just,
stop talking. We've got things to do.
we got a schedule to
I
stick
was,
by.
I was just tweeting.
Deadlines to meet.
I was just
Yeah,
sending out a
tweeting.
tweet. I was just sending out a
Hurry
tweet.
the f up.
Yeah, at Pizza Beth at
Signed,
3D.
Mr.
Hurry up.
Steve.
Mr. Steve is telling us to hurry up.
Yeah.
Carry on as much as you want. It's fine. That's fine. Me saying that actually made it sound worse, didn't it? It actually made me sound like I really do want you to hurry up now. No, it's fine. Honestly,
Yeah, carry on.
no.
Hurry
See,
up. Yeah.
moving on. Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah, we'll
No,
play
just-
through Borderlands 3 one time. Okay. And scene.
Yeah.
Next.
Done.
end seed.
Done.
And cut.
Cut. Yes.
Oh dear.
Right.
I know. I will say I haven't actually picked up any of the Borderlands, so I don't really have that
Oh,
much
no.
No.
Gotta
No.
try
knowledge
it.
of
You
what
got-
you were saying about. So
You gotta try it. Like, at least
no,
one.
I like the look of this. I was torn between either getting this. I think it was either this or what was it? I think it was Elden Rings because it was like
Elden Ring.
I chose Elden Rings. I now own a
Yes.
copy. I'm now
Elden
I've
Ring.
joined the club. I've joined the Elden Ring club. I've joined
Yeah.
the I've joined
nice.
the ring. I've joined the ring club.
Yeah. I bought it again
'cause-
today.
Yeah, yes, you've
Yeah,
purchased it.
I
a
got it on
second time.
PC as well, just so I can play with everybody. So I can
See,
I can boast how good
it
I am
was-
at it.
because
I'm joking, shit.
I do feel like I'm missing out on something. If I bought one or the other, I was always going to miss out on one of them. I feel so. No,
I mean,
it
you
looks
can always play
interesting.
it in the future.
Where
know.
where can anyone buy this? Because currently it's not available on Steam.
It's Epic. Yeah.
It's Epic
I think
Store.
it's an Epic.
exclusive. Yeah.
Steam-
Yeah, Epic exclusive.
Steam does have it on their page as a add now to your wish
It'll be
list. Yeah,
it'll
but it's
be
not.
a year. It'll be
Okay.
a year
Yeah.
exclusive. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
other one will be a year.
Yeah, so
time exclusive.
Epic, if you want to Epic, and then if you want to go on Steam, wait a year.
Or you can get it on the consoles, can't you? It's PS5, PS4, Xbox
yes,
One,
yes.
Xbox
Yeah.
Series X.
Yes.
It's not on
Excuse me.
Stadia, is it? It's not on Stadia, is it?
It
No,
probably is.
It probably
Oh,
is.
okay.
It probably
Oh,
is.
great.
And
I feel sorry for you that have it on Stadia. You ain't got no one to play with.
Buy Stadia. It'll be like you trying to find people to play Borderlands
Exactly.
with.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I have my deepest sympathies. I share your pain.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, excellent. I mean, let's go on for the next one then. If we're done with that, I think we are. That's not me just trying to push it on. I'm just trying to say.
You must hurry up, Mr. Steve.
Hurry up. Right, Freddie, do you want to go next one? I'll take this one.
Yeah, you go.
Okay,
On,
I'll take this one. So I played this last weekend. It is a game that I didn't realise it had actually come out. It's been out a year. It's called Misrely Mansion. I did stream it. I played through it. Misrely Mansion is a first-person survival horror game, and it's got all the tropes of all the types of horror games that have come out. You break down your car you break down, not personally, but you might do after playing it.
You might do after playing it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
After your car breaks down, you find yourself like helpless in a forest. You're alone. You're searching in the dark. Well, you weren't really. I mean, that's the descriptive part of it. You actually ain't. You get there and you can see there's a light and you can see there's a mansion. It's obvious where you got to go to. You walk down the path. There's two pathways that you could have gone to. I happen to have chosen the right one. Lucky me, I guess.
Okay.
Right, because
nice.
like the other one would have been faced with a gate. So basically, you'll see this pathway, and then scattered throughout this pathway. There's also candles. You think in the middle of a woods, those candles are still going to be lit? Yeah, right, sure. Okay, fine. I'll go with it. I'll play along. Literally play along. I'm really dumbing this down a lot on what I think about the game. It's the dev's first game, so I'm trying not to be too harsh towards the game, and I'm not a reviewer or anything like that, so my word don't really count for much, but my experience might put
I wouldn't
people
say
in the
that.
might put people in the right direction. It might not, but it's
Yeah.
from developed and published by Manic Mice, and it came out on January 2021. It does get mostly positive reviews on Steam. I think it is only available on Steam. It gets about 72% of the 47 users. There's only been so it's not massive game, and it might fly under the radar a little bit. So this game, I think I would say it's either two or three types of game thrown all in the midst. It's got loads of different, like I said, it's got all the tropes there from all of the types of horror games that have been out over the years.
Mhm.
It is cookie cutter style of everything.
Oh.
It's got copy and paste everywhere
Mm.
throughout the game. So you break down, you're a man, you get out your car, you go towards the gate, you find your way inside the mansion. There's this big mansion. Now, I don't know whether the mansion itself is supposed to be a TARDIS, but because when you get in, or whether that's just the experience, because that's what the game wants you to believe, that it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. I mean, I know mansions are big, but this is ridiculously big. It is massive inside. It's like
Oh,
you could easily get lost, and you'll get lost because everything looks the same. You go down one corridor, it looks exactly like the last corridor you've just been down. It's
Oh, no.
everything's copy and paste
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
game.
Oh, yeah.
The first part of the game, it kind of put me in a mind of Layers of Fear, where certain things would change behind you or just ahead of you. There would be a jump scare, and okay, I admit those jump scares did happen. You'll see the trailer that I'm playing at the moment. There's a chair that moves, and and you think, oh, it's kind of scary, and you go, oh, okay, it's spooky. It's a ghost. It's a haunted house. There's a ghost in the house, in the mansion. There's knights like knights like armor.
Oh.
So
yeah.
shine, they're about the place. Some of them holding candles, so they'll help you light the way. Typical trope as well. You're armed with just a torch, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to find batteries, and don't worry about running out of batteries. There's loads of them. There's enough batteries to keep you going. You'll just run out just as you'll find another two more. I think Freddie mentioned the game last time about finding batteries. I think once before in one of the games that he played, where you're just constantly finding enough batteries. Yeah. This reminds me. This reminds me of this. This reminds me of this particular game. Yes, there are jump scares. The jump scares are very cheap.
In Sound Mind. Yeah, that was it. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
yes.
In Sound Minds, where it's
same thing. Yeah,
same
batteries
sort of
everywhere.
thing. Batteries everywhere. Batteries for days. You're not going to run out of a battery.
No.
Well, the battery does go quick, but that's fine. You're not gonna need them by the time you get to halfway through. Halfway through the game, it's Layers of Fear, but poorly done, I would say. And I've got quite a lot of experience in Layers of Fear. I played both the DLC, and the second one. Although the second one weren't great, but still better. Like, I want to give this game
better than this.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to get into the juicy stuff in a second. We'll get into that juicy stuff in a second. So the first game, like it's like the first game, the first part of the game, very much that, where things are moving and there's changing. You go down a corridor, the door's locked. You got to find a key. So you go to. I went to the first room I went to, the kitchen, or the dining room, I think it was. The door's locked. You got to find a key. I found the only door that was open, which led me to the key. And I was waiting for a jump scare. And I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And nothing happened. The tension's there. The tension's built up enough that you're expecting a jump scare. And when it doesn't happen, it kind of falls flat. And it feels very it feels very flat when it doesn't happen, and you want it to happen. I got, obviously, as a streamer, I've got sound alerts, and I've said it in the past. Sound alerts do trigger me. They do make me jump. That's what they're there for. It's there for entertainment. It's there for my chat to use. But if that's the only time I'm jumping, I mean, if I
and not
play
the game.
and not the game, then the game really doesn't do a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're very cheap jump scares. You open a door, there's a coat hanger hanging up in front of you, and you think it's a person straight away as you get closer to it, and then it moves very quickly with a loud screech. I've had to turn the sound down on the game. It's just too loud at times. It's very loud. There's scattered throughout the whole of the mansion, there are bits of lore, notes that are left behind, and it does appear that there was a curse. There's a family that was there before, and the parents will talk about, or one parent would say about their son locking themselves in the room, and somehow the son seems to have managed to come across a book or something, and it's become possessed. In the second part of the game, you then get chased by what I can only describe as some sort of entity. It looks more like a mummy from an old black and white mummy film. It just, it's, you'll see it, you'll hear it walking around. When you first hear it, you have to hide from it, and it's best to hide from it. What I took from this as well, this part of the game, was Soma. I don't know if anyone knows about Soma.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Soma, there was a thing that followed you around, and it created a blurred vision, and it distorted the picture a little bit. So as you're playing through, you felt very very sort of uneasy with that sort of distortion that was happening on screen in front of you. This game has that same sort of feel to it as well. So again, you've added another. It's like the developers have gone, oh, I've played Soma, I've played Layers of Fear, I've played Alien. Now what can I do? I can't really do Alien, but let's do a hide thing. Let's add those sort of elements into it. It's like it's borrowed for so many games, but it doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a jump scare or a run and gun type game. You know, that running simulator game like Outlast. They did that very well, and they did it very well because they concentrated on that as the main aspect of the game. This changes its aspect throughout the whole game. It's like Layers of Fear. Now it's Soma. Then it's Alien Isolation. Now it's a puzzle game. It's like you don't know what you want to choose. You don't know what.
Too many elements.
Too many elements spoilt this game.
Okay.
And because you get towards the end of the game, I couldn't complete the game on stream, not because I felt the game too difficult. I just felt the game very jarring. The loading in this game is very jarring. Your
optimization is terrible.
Oh, the animation.
Yeah.
I know you was in my chat, so you were saying about turning it down. I didn't see all your messages straight away, but obviously because I was engaged in the game, and I'm like, the game's default settings is it's set to ultra high settings, and it was tanking my PC. Yes, I'm streaming. Yes, I would like to think I've got a pretty decent PC. I got a pretty decent sort of graphics card. I feel like I can play most games. I can play Elden Ring quite well, and that is quite high end in comparison to this of its settings. So for me to be able to come away, I know that I can play Elden Ring. I know I can without it tanking or losing frame rate. The frame rate in this was awful. I understood 3D was in the chat and he's like, I've got to go because it's actually making me feel ill. Playing it, I felt uncomfortable playing it because I felt embarrassed for the developer, to be honest. I felt slightly awkward trying to showcase it a little bit, I guess. Like I said, it's been out a year, but it's one of those games that probably went under the radar. No one really knew about it. The reviews that they're giving it is good. Yes, in small areas, some areas it is very good. like I said, you get to that there's a puzzle stage. So okay, so let's get on to the puzzle bit now. Now we're moving away from that jarring aspect. You've got to basically, there's a pentagram in the middle of this big hallway, in this big hall area.
Scary.
You've got to find, I think, 5 objects. So now you've got a puzzle thing. Once that element comes into it, you lose that element of the layers of fear. Nothing follows, nothing changes, no jump scares. It becomes a chasing simulator, and that's where the entity becomes more stronger. As you get closer to you, you'll slow down. At first, I thought it was me playing it, like I thought I was accidentally hitting crouch. Because yes, obviously there's a crouching aspect to it, because there always is in these types of games. You've got, if you're not looking for batteries, you're having to crouch or walk across a beam at some point. It's just so much happening at once, and it's just too much happening sometimes. It just wouldn't decide what you want it to be. I went to look for these. You get a clue, so you get on the table. There's a piece of paper. It says where to find each item, and first of all, it says the teddy, like is one of the items, or a child's toy. I guess they described it as. Take the right door. Now I couldn't decide whether it's from the table I take the right, or looking up the staircase to take the right. I couldn't decide. I couldn't find the right room, because what I decided to do, I ended the stream and I played it off stream. I just wanted to find the items. I couldn't find it, and the reason for stopping the stream, it was 2 things. Mostly because it was getting late, and I just felt it. I needed to take a break. But the biggest reason, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to end the stream, was because it was just jarring. I couldn't handle the frame rate issues. Turning, we've spoke about it before in Ghost Hunter Corp, or whatever the name change it to. You know, when it's that there's that popping, if I move the mouse slightly to the left, and all of a sudden you're looking up in the ceiling, you're like way off into the distance, and you're thinking, oh, I hate that kind of feeling. It's like there's popping textures and stuff that are happening, the water effects. All right, it's the guy's first one, so I probably shouldn't crap up on it too much, but you've tried too hard. I feel like you've tried too hard to please too many people at the same time. And just stick with one or 2 elements. Don't change the game halfway through. It's got it had a great potential for being a really good horror game. In my opinion of playing horror games, I feel like the starting was really good. The story overall sounds really good. You start finding elements of lore that you put together, and you've realised that you're being chased by is a demonic possessed boy. At one stage, he was and that's what you're chasing you. Ultimately, he can catch you and kill you. There is death, and you restart at a spawn point, at a checkpoint. Once like I said, I've completed the game now. Once I've done the main task of putting down all the items, there's no resolution to the game. I know it's kind of spoiling the outcome, but unfortunately this is what we've come to in this sort of game. Sorry, spoilers alert and all that, but I just wanted to put it out there that I got to the end of the game, and you're still no better off. When you leave the mansion, the point of the guy going to the mansion is to try and find help, because he's broken down. You're still broken down. Where are you going from that? Where do you go from that? It's like there's no resolution there. So
I see.
It sort of fell flat right at the end. I mean, it's like I said, it's described as a horror, psychological horror, survival horror. What do you want to be? Are you survival horror? Are you psychological horror? Or, what are you? And it's very hard to sort of summarize what I thought about the game, apart from it's just jarring in places. And that motion blur that happens. Oh,
that
was...
gamers hate that. Like motion blur is horrible.
Motion blur was just like, because it's that the motion blur is the mechanic that happens when the creature's getting close to you. And that's the point of the motion blur. So it's like, it's getting close to you. You'll hide, you walk away, you find somewhere else. Yeah, I know the tension was there a little bit, but once later on in the game, I realized I could just outrun it. If you keep running enough, you'll outrun it. You'll not get killed. I learned that mechanic a little bit too late. Okay, so that's my problem. That's as a gamer, that's my problem. That's not the game's fault. That's down to me. I didn't like it. Would say to anyone who's the point of me mentioning it really was to say, do you know what? If you're going to make a game, don't put too much stuff into it. Especially, I'm not a coder. I know a man who is, who has coded some games or has tried, made, and I'm sure they could probably make this game better. But yeah, I just, it was okay. It was just too much. It was too much. Too many things happening at once.
It's almost like you're basically in a way giving whoever made like the developer of this game feedback of
I mean, it's not, I'm not trying to like I said, I'm not trying to dump on you too much, but like I think you added too much in this. You added too many elements of other horror games, and there is a lot of copy and paste. As I said at the start of talking about it, you go down one corridor, it's the same as the every. It's like you know what I could best describe the corridors. It's like watching Scooby-Doo, where the background's the same as they're running down the background, and every picture on the wall is exactly the same, just slightly different now and again, just to some, but it's like the same 5 pictures. It's the same 5 paintings on the wall. It's the same doorways. It's the same,
too many reused assets.
Too much. Everywhere. Yeah, exactly that. It's just like,
and it overloads the game and makes it run slow.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason for it.
Yeah, it was just
have one picture on there, and then have the same picture but change it.
I mean, I was expecting that, to be honest. Like I said, with that first part of the game being Layers of Fear, I was expecting a lot of the pictures to change. Again, it's not something I haven't already seen before. But it's
still spooky, if you have the right atmosphere.
But the cobwebs that hang down from the ceiling, it's the same cobweb every time. It's the same,
so no variety.
No variety. No, it's the same cobweb. They'll either placed it on the wall or they're hanging from the ceiling, or it's the same. I get it should be an old mansion, and therefore some of the wallpaper could look the same. Not all houses have that. Have some places that are different.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit. Like the color scheme in this is kind of. I had to try and increase the dark. I think I did try to increase the darkness in the game, but I could. It didn't have that. It didn't have, as far as I recall, it didn't have anything like that in there. There's not much in its to customize it a little bit for sound, vision, or even key bindings. There was no sliders at all. There's not much. Do you know what I mean? It's very basic.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to do it through NVIDIA game panel.
To change
via the
I hate when games are like that.
Yeah.
You play it. You know what it sounds like an itch.io game,
Yeah.
Like a game, like a one developer game kind of thing, which is that. I can't really say much about it, but from what you said,
I do. I've seen enough of it to form. I've watched its completion, and I agree 100% of everything Steve said about the tropes, about it's a good concept. But I'm just going to echo some of the things that Steve has already said. But the main gripe I have is when a game tries to find its own identity by borrowing so heavily from so many other games. That mechanic in the room with the pentagram and finding the stuff is ripped straight out of Malum.
Yeah.
That is the same concept in Malum. You got to go around the spoopy house. You got to find 5 cursed objects. and you've got to summon. You've got to use it to desummon the demon, or in Malam's case, summon a weapon, and you shoot the demon
Yeah.
with it. So that's the only thing they
Okay, yeah, yeah.
change. The other thing, one of the main issues I had with this game, because I've played around in Unreal Engine and Unity, so I kind of know asset limits and what it does to height like your virtual memory. When you play high end games or high graphical games, they take a large portion of your actual memory and also your Windows virtual memory to run. So when you're doing things like streaming, recording, editing, anything else in a separate games that have a high pixel count or high object count use far more memory than they should, because when you're playing the game and it's trying to render all of these objects, when you've got something set to like ultra high, which is usually 2K resolution textures or above, the game will fundamentally try and prioritize the texture loading over everything else. So it will borrow from more memory from your system. And if it's not there, what causes it causes it to stutter, sync, frame rate tank, because it's trying to compensate for the lack of loading and lack of keep the game moving, so you're not walking into a pitch black wall with no textures, no lighting, no nothing. So it's like a train that's constantly rebuilding the track in front of itself from behind to the front, from behind to the front. But it's doing it so badly that you can see it moving every single block and pixel, and that's why it looks like you're moving at like 5 frames per second.
Mm.
So it's that from that optimization point of view, the game is so overcluttered with stuff, and it's all needless junk. Not half of it isn't interactable. Most of the stuff is like copy and pasted from the first room. It looks like he's taken rooms from Devour, um,
Yeah.
Pacify, and
Yeah.
merged them together. The two buildings and merged them together and given them a new texture. But it's literally the same textures, but slightly different. Especially the flooring textures. The flooring textures are literally like for like. If you look at Pacify and Devour and look at the flooring, it is literally the same, and the walls. This guy is borrowed. Not only has he borrowed textures from other games and sort of altered them a little bit, he's also put so much naff stuff in the game that you can't. When you look, because the best thing about survival horrors is looking for stuff, trying to find stuff to aid you, trying to find that that little power up health kit. In this case, batteries or power tool or keys. And this game needed a health bar. It needed something else for the player to look for rather than
Yeah.
it needed some sort. Even like borrowing from Alien Isolation, the reason that Alien was so scary is because you knew you couldn't kill it, but
Yeah.
you could have some sort of defense to ward it off. There's
Yes.
so many mechanics that are missing from this game. It feels like half a game to me, and I will disagree. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. He's charging 12 quid for this game, or 13 quid, whatever it was on Steam. I
Yeah,
saw it for.
13.99.
It's yeah.
Yeah, £14. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's cheap for an indie title. Okay, I would say it's at the higher end of indie games. Like, so I know it's made by one guy, and props to the dude. In places it's pretty decent, but if you release a product that's you're charging money for, you have an obligation to make sure it runs as best as
Yeah.
possible on
Yeah.
most systems. You have a decent decency to put settings in to set the UI so that players can configure it to their liking, so they can make it run better on their machine. You should also have like an object slider to reduce some of the object load on each stage as well. That would massively help out with a lot of people that had frame rate issues. Because unless you've got some sort of beast of a machine, you're not gonna like 32, like north of 32 gigabyte of RAM, a 2080 Ti plus SSD. You're going to need all the big guns to make this run better, because it's it's not optimized. The game is very poorly run. It's the storyline is non-existent. The fact that he breaks down, then goes to a random mansion, and it happens to be a demonic possessed mansion with some demon running around in it. It just makes no sense. It's a very poor story. They would have better off writing in something like Final Fantasy VII, where someone's missing of his family or friends, or whatever. They sent him a letter. This is the last known address. He turns up looking for him. That would have been a better storyline
Song
than
of
having.
War.
Yeah, if you're going to borrow
Similar.
something, you're going to borrow something. At least borrow a decent storyline. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Oh, my car broke down. I'm looking for gas. Oh shit, demon! You would turn around and just literally beat the door down and leg it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even stay in that house 1 minute,
No.
1 second longer. You
No.
necessarily wouldn't do puzzles and hide. You just go up to the demon, punch it, and then leg it.
Not even punch it, I'll just run.
The whole thing, the whole concept of the game just irritates and irks me big time. I don't think it's. I don't know how it's got so many mostly positive reviews. There's a lot of people who are just like, yeah, it's okay, it's an indie game. It's one guy. There's a lot of people giving him free passes. Now, I'm a bit disingenuous in the fact that I don't agree with a free pass. If you're charging for a product, the product should be up to standard. Yes, it's an indie title. Yes, it's made by one dude. Yes, it's a valiant first attempt, but
Yeah,
it's still a bad game is a bad game. You don't. If
Yeah.
it's an indie or a AAA game, if it's bad, it's bad. When it's badly optimized and then it's tropey on top of that, and then it's an issue to play, and that you don't enjoy the mechanics you've put in, and then you've copied and pasted every single room so it all looks the same. So you spend literally half your time running around in circles trying to find the way out, and it becomes a real chore, and the game for me is a massive, massive skip. I've credit to you, Steve, for playing through it, because I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's a couple of quid, I might buy it. And at
yeah,
£14, I'm like, yeah, no way, Sunbeam, not for that. But yeah, it's Misery Mansion. Yeah, it will bring misery to your fucking frame rate
yeah.
on your
I
PC
mean,
for playing it.
just as I said, I do want to dump on the devs, but I
Oh
know
well,
I know
fine.
no, but I know in the back of my mind I'm like I am being reserved with what I said.
You
But
gotta be honest, because
but
Yeah, you
like
gotta
that will
be
make
honest, yeah.
people.
the fact is it was bad. It was, and I'm not backtracking or anything like that. I'm not
No,
backpedaling or anything like that. I'm just
the
saying
truth comes out.
truth, the truth. Just yeah, I'm just wanted to put it out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You couldn't
didn't,
enjoy it, you know?
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't,
Not everyone's gonna enjoy it,
and
so
No.
you're
it's.
entitled to your opinion.
I liked, yeah. Sometimes you're just gonna find a stinker of a game, and that was mine. And
Yeah.
I went in with good like good intentions, like or at least good opinions of the game. Like there was okay, you know what, it's £14. I expected so much more, and I got so little reward for it as well. It's just
Yeah.
a
How long
headache.
was how long did you play through
Oh
it?
no, well, I mean, do you know what? It's a really short game as well, because if you get through it by the time I streamed it for 3 hours. I think no, less than
Okay,
that. Maybe less than that. I think I came off it early. I can't
okay.
remember. Well, if we talk about my scheduling on a Sunday, I do 2 games. I do 3 till 6 and then maybe about 8 till 8:30 till like late. I
Yeah.
think I played this on the Sunday 3 till
Mhm.
6. So that's 3 hours, but that's me chatting as well. So that's chat.
Yeah.
I
So
would
maybe a
say
little less.
that like if you didn't have chat, like if you just picked this up for £14, you're gonna be doing this in about 2 hours. It's
Wow,
not
that's
that
bad.
long. I
Bad.
take
Okay.
into account I do a intermission, so I've got my intermission at the start of a game. I might take a break midway through, and then obviously there's the ending. So my stream is probably about 3 hours long. The gameplay, and I didn't complete the game on stream. I completed it after stream. I've
Okay.
got about it says I've got 2.6 hours on Steam. I completed it.
You
So
can't get a
3
refund.
no, I can't get a
You
refund on
could
it. I
actually,
probably
you could
could.
argue
Could
it
I?
because of
Could
the performance problems. You could
performance
easily
problem?
argue, yeah,
That would
easily.
be the only. That would be my case, but that would be it. Yeah. To get my money back on that. I
I would, Alex. I'm sorry, Alex. I've just come into my chat. Sorry, Steve.
we were
I
just.
would, Steve.
I think.
Sorry, I've completely just done what I shouldn't do is read chat and then
I know
type
it's exactly what I said about pizza.
it.
Don't read chat. Ignore chat.
No
Chat.
way, chat.
Chat's
Chat.
not there.
No way, chat.
But anyway, move. Yeah, let's move. I think we should
Sorry.
move on from that because we just. I think we're done. I think we're done with the game.
Yeah. Put a
Mis-
fork in it. It's done.
Misery Mansion is a misery. Unfortunately, it really is. So
Yeah.
skip it. Don't get it.
Yeah. And
Like,
if developer, if you happen to hear this podcast,
yeah. I mean,
do better. Hit us up for ideas. Always
Yeah,
welcome.
we'll help.
Yeah,
We'll,
we'll help you.
we
We'll help you make the most untropy game there is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
we
we've played
we
so many
we.
horror games between all of us
I
easily.
think that um that the we are all passionate about games, and particularly horror games. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all passionate about it, and we like Spreedy and Fun, Mr. Steve was saying, we don't want we don't want to we don't want to shit on your parade. Sorry,
It's
so,
all right.
excuse the language.
I'll beep it. It's fine.
Yeah, we want to give you feedback, and we want you to make, a game that we will enjoy and others will enjoy. And I know a lot of people have, liked it and stuff, but if there's people who don't enjoy it, we're just fans giving you
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
We didn't enjoy it,
We didn't enjoy it,
and
but yeah, you're
we
right.
feel you could improve,
Yeah.
Less is
and
more.
and uh, and also because you're a upcoming developer, I presume you made your first game. It's not going to be the greatest. You're
For a first attempt, it's not bad. To be
yeah,
fair,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
exactly. That's why I said I didn't want to dump on it from a great height,
no, it's a
but
finding
good
your
effort.
I am finding myself going, yeah, it just wasn't great.
No,
But anyway,
yeah.
okay, let's
close,
move on.
Yeah,
close, but no
okay.
cigar.
Yeah, right,
Misery
Freddy,
Mansion ain't getting my money.
and getting my money.
Yeah,
Well, got my money,
right.
but
So my spotlight is something I've played completed and I've been playing recently, and it's sort of fueled my refire for the game. I don't know if I've covered this already. I haven't covered Resident Evil Village, have I? As a spotlight, I don't think I have. I
I
I think
don't
can't
think
recall
so.
I have.
Don't think
we've only mentioned it in passing, like as we're comparing it to other games. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil Village, and
yes.
I'm not gonna go into too much detail because obviously it's been out a while. But I'm currently doing my second playthrough on my Twitch channel at the moment, and I've literally flabbergasted how I've forgotten how good this game looked. Now you go
yeah,
from a game like Misery Mansion to a game like Resident Evil. I know it's night and day. One bloke versus a studio, but Resident Evil 8 does have its gripes, and I will get into them later. But for the most part, Resident Evil 8 is obviously a continuation of the story, the reboot of number 7, with the molded mansion, a lot of mansions, and Resident Evil if you follow the storylines,
Yeah.
and you follow the Ethan. You follow Ethan, good old Ethan and Mia. Storyline carries on in number 8, and they've moved away from the molded experience, and they have a daughter, and the game starts off with you in the house hugging the baby, um, and playing Goo Goo Gaga, and like I was trying ways of trying to put the baby down in really stupid places just for laughs, but you can't. So you have to follow the storyline and stick it. It will stick the baby where it's supposed to go, and that's in its bed, not on the sofa or in the kitchen or in the pram or outside the front door or
Or
anywhere
in the
like
toilet.
that, or in the toilet. Yeah, unlike previous other games I've played, like babysitter simulator, where you can literally yeet the baby out the window, which is
Oh my
wrong
god.
but funny. It's wrong but funny. Anyway, moving back to Resident Evil, the game is a horror fest. Survival horror done right. It is very very actiony compared to the seventh one. The seventh one really leaned in on the horror, brought back
Yeah.
the terror, the gore, the uncomfortable feeling you get from watching someone get literally eviscerated. And some of the DLC was really stomach churning. Some of the things you make the characters go through literally turned my stomach into knots. Some of the stuff I saw. So number 8, because of let's say whiny fanboys decided that, oh, it's too gory, I don't like it, what about the casuals? They decided to nerf all the gore except for one section in the game, and nerf the horror for one section in the game. So we what we got was a real toned back Resident Evil 8 in terms of atmosphere, and it was all about action. It was literally like Alien and then Aliens.
Chasing, like
Right,
lots of chasing.
literally, like, it's basically how I can compare it. You have a really like standout horror with emphasis on atmosphere, scares, and gore, and then the second one's all about action, action, action with a bit of horror, a bit of gore, but way too much action. Honestly, the game looks fantastic. It runs like a dream. It's got good optimization. Um, the storyline is good, but it's not brilliant. It does have some massive holes and flaws in it throughout the storyline. That it's tying number 8 basically tries to tie all of the other Resident Evil games together. So Spoiler
Yeah,
warning.
I
If
remember
you
that.
if
Yeah.
if you if you haven't played it by now or don't know about it, come and watch me play it, and then mute this for about 10 minutes while I talk about spoilers. So
Yeah.
that, as I said, impossible to talk about without spoilers.
Yeah.
Um, so here's your spoiler warning, right? For Resident Evil 8, it basically comes to a head in this game where this is the source of all the um, outbreaks. It's the source of all the viruses. This is where the head of Umbrella went to make the um, virus, and he
Viruses.
had a partner, and the partner is Mother Miranda in this village. She's the head scientist. They were both together, head scientist, part of a team, and he goes off. They were like it hints that they were in a relationship together, but he goes off to create his own company, and he based the T virus is based off the molded strain. That's what
Mhm.
happens in this game, and that tries to tie all the other Resident Evils in together, and it all comes to a conclusion with number seven and Ethan, and at the end. But that's the only sort of major spoiler I will give away. There, I would recommend anyone who is a big fan of Resident Evil hasn't played number eight because they've heard bad things about it, or they've heard the story is no good. If you've played all of the others, this is a must play if you want to know the lore and the story of Umbrella and its founding members, and how the T virus come to be. And there's also DLC coming out for it this year as well. Resident
I'm
Evil
looking
Village
forward to it.
DLC, and it's going to feature Ada Wong, and it's going to have a massive campaign. It's going to be about. It's rumored to be about 6 to 10 hours long, so it's basically another game in
Really?
itself. Yeah, it's going.
That's
They're really putting a lot of effort into it. Um,
wow. Okay.
this is a prequel to the events before Ethan turns up, and why Chris turns up at the start of number eight and shoots the living daylights out of Mia. Um, and so it sort
Spoilers.
of explains the events of why that happens. Or at least it's
Yeah.
supposed to. The storyboard that was leaked and that I've seen, and the script I've read, also indicates towards that. Might have been changed. It's been like 6 months or 9 months since I've read that. Um, but
Yeah.
there's definitely going to be more content coming for this game,
I'm
and
very excited for that.
so that's it's obviously because COVID's delayed it, and all the rest of it around the world delays and stuff. So it's not come out. It's supposed to come out last year. It's not come out last year, so it's coming out. Yeah, it's either this end of this year or start of next year. DLC before number nine is scheduled to come out. I think number nine. I think it's nine's coming out this year or next year. I think it might be next year or the year after. I'm not 100% sure. Um,
Okay.
but the game is great, mechanic wise. So you have your guns, and this is very akin to number four. So if you've played number four, you'll the what's it good the vendor dude. He has an upgrade station
Uh,
where you
D
go and
Duke.
just yeah,
Duke.
it's a Duke like guy in number four. It's the same sort of thing. You go
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
he
yeah.
has all these gizmos, all these weapons. You upgrade. He's your upgrade dude. Yeah, they give him exchange currency, whatever. So you can buy guns, and the first time round, it's quite challenging, especially if you play it on hard. Standard and casual mode, very easy. You know, anyone could. I would argue that standard is a bit more difficult, especially if you're not used to shooting things like in the first person game. But casual is it's a doddle. Like you can use. So if you want a challenge, you need to complete it on casual first because you have to have a new game plus do the two harder difficulties. Otherwise, you can't do them. And the game you can speed run the game in 2 hours, about 2.5 hours
Yeah.
if you really wanted to. I mean, if you know the layout, you know where everything is, you know where the key items are, you can speed run it. However, if you want to find all the items, find all the lore, find all the weapons, find all the consumables, find all the puzzles, you're looking at about 6 to 10 hours, rough give or take, roughly on your play style, and that's finding and killing everything as well, every single mob in the game. So it's for at the time it was 50 quid. 6 to 10 hours is kind of 6 to 8 hours is kind of on the nose for that sort of price tag. For that sort of, especially considering how long number seven was. Number seven was long. You know, number
Yeah.
seven took me roughly about with all the DLCs took me roughly about 20 hours plus to
Mhm.
complete, and that's without new game plusing it. So in terms of content, it's just like half. It's over half of the
Yeah.
first one, which put a lot of people off. To be fair, the story does have some mute points. Now the gameplay is more or less you find ammo, you find equipment, you find puzzles, you find keys, find cards, you shoot loads of disgusting things in between, and everyone you meet is useless. So you're just on your own for the most part, most part, and so there's a nice big twist at the end, which I really recommend you go and play and see, or watch somebody play it at the very least. Um, so I've completely lost my trail of thought.
That's been happening a lot
Oh,
this time. This
right.
You
So
read chat, didn't you? I
yes.
know it.
Um, so it's akin to number four in terms of its weapon systems and inventory management. Which is why so many people loved it, because it's like, oh, it's number four, and they actually are making number four, remaking number four, incidentally. And a lot of people said, what's the point? Number eight is exactly like number four, and so much spiritual successor. So let's get to the characters of Village, why it was so popular. Yeah, I'm going to talk about.
Oh, I wonder
Yeah,
why.
yeah, not the 9-footed lady vampire that has tits the size of Texas and heels the size of Mount Everest, walking around, stupid man thing. There's a
Yeah.
and this is the problem I have with the game. The characters are great. So you've got the big city vampire lady and her three daughters. You've got Mother Miranda, who's the main bad guy. You've got Heisenberg, who's my favorite bad guy.
Yeah.
And then you've got the fish dude. That's all I'm going to
Oh,
call
yeah.
him, the fish dude, the ugly
Yeah.
fish thing. And then you've got the doll maker,
Oh my.
which is which is one of the best sections in the whole game, because
No.
it's the only thing that literally made
No.
me poop my
No.
pants and the whole
No. No.
game. And it was akin to number seven. They needed more sections like that in the game.
Nope.
100%. It's the only part of the section is the game. In that part of the game, it's literally made me cry with fear because of what happens in it. It is one of the most disturbing, unnaturally
I hate it.
disgusting things I have ever witnessed,
I
and
physically hate it.
it's even worse when you have children of your own. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, please.
It's so much worse. I remember playing it off stream with my kids, my two oldest watching me, and we were all screaming like idiots in this
Yeah.
section. So it's there's some really good moments in the story, but the characters are underutilized, and the gameplay does become a bit monotonous towards the end. It does get very repetitive, especially after the big spoiler, and then it just becomes like it turns into Call of Duty. That's all I'm going to say. It turns into Call of Duty, and it
Yeah.
becomes like it's a pew 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 pew
I
pew
kind of
pew
like
pew,
that section though. It's
and
kind of
yeah,
satisfying.
it is, but
Yeah.
it's so jarring because you've struggled so much up to that point
And then you can
with
instantly just.
Ethan, and
Yeah.
then it's like he just rocks up and it's just like pew 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 pew, everything dies immediately. I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
where were you at the start of the game? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
conveniently not around.
Yeah.
You
Where
know,
were
just
you, bro?
yeah, exactly. You were supposed to. The thing is, there's it's Chris. Obviously, Obviously, I'm talking about, and that it akins that there's a like a story. There's a story before this where Chris trains Ethan in combat and weaponry and all that, which is why he's so good with.
Mm,
Because
okay.
before in the previous game, he was just like a bloke who just stumbled into weapons. It's like, oh, does this work? Bang. It's
Yeah.
So he's not military trained in the first one. Sort of bumbles his way through the whole thing and manages to
Survive.
survive. Dun, dun, dun. Um, so Resident Evil 8 story tropes is that every single bad guy is stupid as anything. They have the main character in their grasp, and for one reason or another, they don't kill him. And it's there's only one character that I can't say it, but there's only one character that seems to be a lot bit more intelligent, and you think, oh god, this is different. No,
Yeah.
this is great. This is what should happen. No, I just hear I can just hear the Admiral Tournament voiceover dude as it happens, denied as the stuff happens as the story pans out, and it's just a waste of characters, and Ethan is a waste of a character, and there should be so much more to this game in terms of story and lore. And it's a shame that the Ada Wong section was cut out because that was supposed to be put in the game. So
Mm.
that was supposed to be the opening part of the game was the Ada Wong section.
I didn't know
And
she was meant to be in.
yeah. There was a whole 4 hour intro, like basically that start the game, explaining everything, setting it all up, bridging it between number 7 and number 8 properly, and it ties Ethan into it properly without
Oh,
what
I
happens
see.
at the start of the number 8. So I'm giving the game a little bit of grief on the story. It's because I really expected it to be so much better. It's what we got was serviceable. I'm not going to say it's good because there are some points in the game that just leaves you scratching your head at how dumb the characters are, especially Chris Redfield. I can't stand him. He does my nutting at some points in this game, right? Honestly, I wish
I know.
it's a good example of why you should slap somebody, right?
Oh no.
That is a good example of why some characters should be slapped and some shouldn't be, right? Wink, wink, nod, nod, right? And and it's just the whole game. The game is fun. The game is good. Let me wrap it up because otherwise I'll be talking forever. It's good. It's good fun, but it should have been better. And it's if you can get it on a sale, get it on a sale. If you love anything to do with Resident Evil or you love survival horror games, it's definitely worth a playthrough. Make up your own opinions on it, but it does have some very good moments. But for the most part, it limps along, it ramps up in places, but a lot of the time you'll backtrack as well, which irritates me. But the game is fantastically voiced. There's one thing I will give props to this: the voice acting is absolutely fantastic. The sound design is amazing. Graphically, it's amazing. Aesthetically, it's amazing. The performance wise, it runs like as smooth as butter. And the only things that really do hurt it is the story and the lack of utilization with the characters and the dumb things that these characters do. If you can look past that, you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my spotlight on Resident Village.
I'll say a little bit of my experience. It was I was looking for like I enjoyed the game very thoroughly. Um I do not like that certain section. We all know what it is. I want like when you're talking about it just now, like I was thinking about it and I physically got a little depressed thinking about it.
Oh
It's
no.
just it's such it stuck with it sticks with you and it's like it's wow, it's a weird section of the game, and I hated every second of it. Um, yeah, I enjoyed the game. I the characters were okay. I mean, I didn't. They were right. They were right.
They weren't amazing, were they?
No, they
They're not
were
the
right.
Baker family.
That they
The
weren't
Baker, no.
like no character really stuck with you. Just I don't know, like I don't know, you kind of forget about them after, you know,
Yeah.
y you know,
The
uh,
the the weakest character was definitely the doll lady.
Fish. Which one?
The doll lady.
Oh, no.
'Cause
Are you
you
sure?
don't, yeah, 'cause you don't even see her.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Good
Yeah,
point. Good point.
um, at
I
least the fish dude has some sort of motivation or motive why he's doing
yeah,
what he's doing.
yeah.
The doll lady is just because Mother Miranda went, "Kill that twat."
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though, and,
yeah, sorry, Beth.
I
Sorry, I'll
I
shut up.
played through the whole thing on stream, and there's probably somewhere maybe clips of when that certain scene happens. I was terrified. I
I shouldn't laugh, but it's because I remember how scary it was, and I'm not looking forward to doing it again. And then yeah, I know.
yeah, like I want to play through it again, but that bit's making me not want to
Yeah,
play
it's a
through it
lot of people said
again.
the same thing. Yeah, some of
You
it's
know?
even a deal breaker for some people.
Yeah. So I want to play through it again. I really do, but it just that bit. It's just it sticks with you. And
Haunting.
no, I'm not saying not play it. Don't. I'm not saying not to play it. You should play it.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
play it. Just be prepared for that
I
sense.
th-
Just be prepared, okay? But yes, it's a cool installment, and I love Resident Evil. Like, it's one of my favorite franchises, and yeah,
Yeah. I can agree with that. I would say out of all of them, the one like I missed out. I think 4, 5, 4 and 5. I missed out. I think maybe 6 as well. I came back
yeah,
to in 7, and it's 7 that I've played through. Like as a more recent game. Like I know this is the most recent, but like
Yeah.
you know, obviously, what I'm saying is that over the 2 like games, I think I've played 7 more. I'm not saying that again. We're like Peter just said, like play the game, give it a go,
yeah,
give it another go. I haven't replayed this one. I
no,
It's just either that, like you said, you could easily do this in a couple of hours. So it's not too difficult to get through once you know where everything is. It's just either finding time to do it, or just
yeah,
yeah, I couldn't connect with myself too much with like the Baker family in 7. Everyone remembers those sort of. They
Yeah.
stand out a little
yeah,
bit more, and I think
Yeah.
yeah,
that's what this game was missing. It was missing that sort of Baker family esque. You know, you had a
yeah,
family. You had the you know, you had the tall lady with the short daughters,
Yeah.
but you can remember her because
everyone remembers her.
everyone remembers her because of like she was literally big
Yeah,
in the game, but she wasn't big in the game.
Everywhere.
No, she wasn't.
no,
She was big in stature, but she wasn't big in like notoriously. Like she wasn't. No one's gonna. Everyone remembers that
yeah,
because that's who she was. Um,
Yeah.
she wasn't that attractive to remember. Like she's just like not really.
No.
That
Her voice was
doesn't
good.
yeah, the voice acting for her was good, but like yeah, I didn't really see. I could see past like what people were saying about her.
What the big
I
deal
get
was.
it.
What the
Like, I
big
could see
deal
the
was.
yeah, like yeah, she's just big. Like, if she was normal size, I would put her down as an average sort of looking. Sorry, but you know,
Good.
yeah.
you
Low
know,
key,
It's like
low key
not
bad guy.
yeah, no,
it's like
not really.
there's a lot of characters in the game, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's a bit too many kind of characters. Like there's so many
Yeah, there
characters in it.
wasn't enough build up for
No,
any of them. You don't get to know
no,
them. You don't understand why they're there. You don't understand what Miranda has done to recruit them. Because Heisenberg was human before he got turned into what he got turned into. So
yeah,
I would have loved to have played through
yeah,
like an opening salvo or even DLC as Heisenberg to
that'd
find
be
out his story.
awesome.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things they did in 7. Right, they did the VHS tapes where you could go
yeah,
back
I remember that.
and play through this
yeah,
history. Experience the things that these characters experience. You could gone through as Miranda as a human and meeting Miranda, mother Miranda, and like having their
Yeah,
whatever happened between them. And I don't know. She becomes a vampire. I mean, and how she gets her mansion and all that. There's so much
yeah,
stuff they could have
yeah,
built up and done, and it's just a wasted opportunity because once you've because every boss character is so short when you break up the game. Like
yeah,
the mansion is an hour and a half, right?
yeah,
An hour and a half maximum, like hour and a half, 2 hours max. And then the next sections aren't as long. The only section that's quite long winded is the Heisenberg bit because you have
yeah,
to backtrack so much um, and unlock rooms and things, and it becomes quite tedious. So that there's not enough exploration in these characters, and that their sections are very very short. So the whole thing just falls flat because there's no sort of build up. There's no sort of care. Like you don't really get because a good villain is as a villain you can understand or empathize with, even though you know they're wrong. You can understand why they're doing
what
what
they're
they're
doing.
doing. And
Yeah,
Miranda, you just like no idea other than like she's just batshit insane.
yeah,
Like
you
it's
don't
just
know
that's
why she. Yeah, you don't
yeah.
know
why
why.
she wanted to destroy the world. It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. I
It's just
remember
all
that.
left up. It's all left up in the air. Like it's just it could. I hope number 9 wraps it all up, but I don't. We'll end up with a Misery Mansion ending. I think just
Oh
just
god.
nothing happening.
Oh
Just walk
no.
off into the
That's just
sunset.
yeah. Oh,
That's the same photo. Hmm. Oh, another same photo. Oh, that's a flip.
misery.
I think,
Oh dear.
yeah, I think it's a good game, nevertheless.
It's a good game though. It is a good game. It's just
Yeah,
it could have been better. It could have been
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. All right.
bit of a slap in the face then.
Yeah, yeah, a
Ba-bum.
real
Ba-dum.
clip on the chin.
Yeah. Oh dear. Right.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Shall we move on to some news if we've got any?
Yes.
Yes, we do have a couple of topics to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let Steve do the intros.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting topic. This one. A cryptocurrency exchange bought the developer Auto Battler Storybook Brawl last week. Yeah, and it hasn't gone well. According to this article, it hasn't gone well. Players
Oh.
of a free-to-play Auto Battler Storybook Brawl are suddenly calling for it to be booted off Steam, but not because of a controversial balance change or a scandalous personal allegations. Storybook Brawl is the subject of a very 2022 happening. A cryptocurrency company bought it. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX US announced last week that it has acquired Storybook Brawl developer Good Luck Games, and new owner isn't shy about its intentions. The acquisition is an opportunity to be to the vanguard for the ethical integration of gaming and crypto transactions, according to FTX. In a video posted after the announcement, Good Luck Games founder Matt Place said that the acquisition means increased funding for the studio, but that doesn't not yet exactly how blockchain technology will be integrated into a storybook brawl, except that it will be ethical and create fun for players, quote unquote. A lot of players are not buying either company's resistances. Excuse me. After a week, sorry, FTX's press release pointed out that Storybook Brawl has assumed thousands of very positive reviews on Steam. The game's recent review average has flipped to overwhelmingly positive. Just 17% of the 710 user reviews posted over the past 30 days recommended the game. Because Storybook Brawl is a free-to-play, users do not have to spend any money to leave a review, making it particularly skeptical, to review bombing like this. However, most of the negative reviews came from Steam users whose Storybook Brawl playtime is in double or triple digits.
Okay.
It's just was one of the best auto battlers out there, but crypto is a scam to punk the dumb out of their money, and it's a shame that the game was bought out to further the agenda, wrote one reviewer who has logged 67.2 hours in Storybook Brawl. Most of the other recent negative reviews say roughly the same thing. They like the game, but are banning now that it's going to introduce crypto transactions. This was a good game until it made it about NTFs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, said a player with over 900 hours in the game. Some reviewer,
Wow.
yeah, some reviewers also say that the game will or should be removed from Steam. No announcement has been made by Valve or FTX about Storybook Brawl's future on Steam, but the expansion that it will be removed isn't unfounded. Steam's rules forbid applications built on blockchain technology that issue or allow exchange of cryptocurrencies or NFTs. So if Storybook Brawl goes in that direction, as planned, it could be subject of a second review from Valve. Yeah.
Interesting.
What do
I
you
did
think?
play that game once,
No,
and I didn't really like it. So
No,
I'm glad I didn't carry on playing it because I
no.
don't.
I mean,
The
what do
whole
you
thing
think about
stinks.
like that? That's just crazy, right? Because like,
It's a dangerous precedent to start introducing this nonsense to video games. Dealing with the nonsense of NFTs is one thing, but to buy a game with this cryptocurrency, this nonsense currency that everyone seems to be like, oh, well, it's fine. It's not fine. It's got so many security problems, and it's just an absolute nightmare to deal with. I mean, having Bitcoin around is one thing, and then converting it into, I think they convert it to cryptocurrency, don't they, or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then it's just a load of controlling. I own this nonsense. The whole thing is stemmed from the whole copyright stuff. Like we own this. We have the
yeah,
digital imprint of this now. You can't take the digital imprint off us. We own this. Even though you've given us money and have a copy of it, we can remove it at any time.
I think
That's
it's a
that's the
bit ridiculous.
that's basically what it allows them to do.
It's a bit
That's
weird.
and then it has unlimited access to that wherever it is on your computer. At least that's my understanding of how the NFT stuff works, and the cryptocurrency works. That's how I think it works. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
yeah,
I'm not clued up on it. I don't think many people
Yeah,
are. And
I don't know
even
much.
if they are, we don't need it. We don't need any more. It's like you load up a mobile game, right? And you've got those bazillions of currencies that you have to buy money for to convert for your real money for, and then you've got to convert your real money to bitcoins to cryptocurrency. Just sod off. I mean, no, we don't need any more bloody nonsense in video games. There's enough of it already. There's enough nonsense around. We don't need someone else going, I think this is a great idea, when literally 99.9% of the planet is like, no.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if 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 you're in the room and you're the only one peddling this stupid idea, and almost everyone in the room is looking at you, shaking their head, going,
what?
"No,
No,
no,
nah,
no,"
no.
on the
that's
neck,
not.
motioning under their neck, stop it, end it, and then he
End it.
just carries on. You know, Shame on you for thinking that this is a good idea. Our people just don't understand. No, they do understand. We just don't want. We don't want it. We don't need it. Is it the fact that you've tried to sell your audience and game audience NFTs, and they all went, yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you sell the company as in cryptocurrency, like the worst thing ever. Like literally
yeah,
one of the things that a lot of people do not like because of reasons I've already stated. And then you're like, oh, it's fine. We're gonna be leading the way for cryptocurrency in video games. Yeah, leading the way right out of Steam, right out of the gaming complete industry completely, mate. You're
yeah,
delusional if you think this is a good idea. There is not enough there's not enough evidence to suggest that we need this. And why would anybody agree to this? The fact that the owner has gone, yeah, I'll sell it for cryptocurrency. It's worth loads of money one day, and he's just messed his company up and thinking he's onto a winner. It's like your delusional old granddad is wearing infinite scratch cards, and he's like, I'm gonna have millions and millions of pounds by the end of the day, and he spends like £1,000 on these
yeah,
scratch cards,
yeah,
and he ends up with like 10 quid,
yeah.
and at a loss. That's exactly what this bloke's just done with the cryptocurrency. You might as well just taken your wallet out, lit it on fire, and throw it in the bin. You know, it's pointless. No one wants this rubbish. It's completely, absolutely futile to try and push your agenda on, because no one likes agenda pushers,
No,
right? Nobody wants no one wants your agenda shoved in their face. See, you see this glass? This is my agenda. Here, have it in your face. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody cares. If you can have a discussion, you can talk about things, but at the end of the day, when even Steam, it's the parent company your game is on, has policies in place against cryptocurrency, why on earth would you think it's a good idea to put your entire company and business in that financial model?
yeah. That's
You, you know,
very strange.
there you go. Mic
it's.
drop. That's it. I'm out.
Eh, I was just looking I was just looking on Steam now, and it's just like everyone's now reporting of it, because obviously this has just come out just recently.
Yeah.
The news, it's gone from like overwhelmingly negative reviews, or all
Oh my
reviews
god.
mixed altogether. It came out 18th of June 2021. But yeah,
It's not even been out a year.
it's not even been out yet, and it is literally now every review as I go through it now is just basically mentioning the fact that it's FTX's crypto and all that. It's just everything that I've just basically read out, everyone has just picked up on, and that's why it's been given such an overwhelmingly negative review. And that's 803 reviews
Yeah.
in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
15%. That's 15%. So it's massively dropped. Like,
It's
so that's
disgusting.
not going to do that any good, which is probably a good thing actually.
Yeah.
Put people
Get it
off
out of
it,
here.
get it out,
Yeah.
take it off the damn thing. I mean, aesthetically, it looked alright actually when you look at it. But like, I don't care for the game. It's a card battler,
Look,
up to 8 players.
when Blizzard has a better game than you in terms of a card game like Hearthstone,
Yeah,
and their reputation is in the gutter, and you manage to surpass that reputation in a bad way, you're doing something wrong.
yeah.
Clearly doing something wrong. And it doesn't matter how cute your art is, how good your gameplay is, how great your IP is. The moment you sign away the trust with your game base, literally, I don't know how they still have any players left after the selling them NFTs. you know,
Yeah.
and then you go, we're gonna, I can't. The words. It just the stupidity of this man is beyond ridiculous. Honestly, mate. Honestly, set up, get out the gaming industry if you think cryptocurrency is the future. I think almost 99.9% of the other companies that are in the gaming industry will strongly disagree with you on this one, especially when
Mm.
it's ripe with so much malicious intent, viruses, hacking, spying, other crap that's just it's all in that cryptocurrency NFT stuff. Tracking alone and the spyware that the stuff has, it's it's been well documented. I'm not just not saying that. There's so many people have said the same things. Like it's yeah, I'm gonna shut up because I need you guys to talk.
No, it's fine.
I'm just like
No.
proper going into one on this poor guy who already thought it was a great idea, and he listens to
Yeah.
these. It's like when you have a really good convincing salesman at your doorstep, and you have that moment where you're just like, is this a good deal? It sounds like a good deal. And then because he didn't have his wife in his corner looking at him saying no, or someone in his corner going, look, no,
No.
no, he's talking out his ass. Like
No.
that doubt wasn't reinforced. So he's like, yeah, sign me up. And
It's almost
this is what happens.
yeah. It's almost like you do need a woman by your side at all times, just to sort of give you a look to say, are you gonna? I mean, I'm just saying. I think we all need times like that in our life when we just need that woman by our side. To give us a
Yeah.
look and say,
Yeah.
are you gonna?
Are you
gonna say?
listen to that shit?
Are you gonna listen to that?
Exactly right.
Are you gonna take it on the chin?
Well,
Oh.
yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, I think we can move on from this.
Yes,
I don't know.
we can. Yes.
Has anyone got? Do you have anything you wanted to? Do you have any news that you wanted to bring to this?
I have one thing to talk about, and it's another doozy. We spoke about
Okay.
earlier. Blizzard have settled out of court with their thing that they had a little while ago regarding their staff, their female
Yes.
staff that were treated extremely poorly, and obviously led to some unfortunate circumstances. Which
Yeah.
obviously this is gonna tone down the notch a little bit. But I want to talk about it because Bobby Kotick has got out of jail free card and settled out of court for $18 million.
Oh my god.
Oh, what?
And a fund that is set up for the victims of his company.
Yeah.
And let me put it into perspective. Blizzard Activision earns almost $9 billion a year. They earn at least $24 million a day. 18 million is not even a day's worth of earnings for them.
Yeah.
So how is this a
Yeah.
punishment? Like
Yeah, this is not
they've
punishment.
gotten away with fines. There's no intervention from the governments. There's no third parties involved. There's no more. There's no more investigations. This is done. This has now been settled. And I think in American law, I think once it's settled in court, I don't think they can bring it up again. I don't think they
No.
can. And not for a while anyway. Not unless there's some massive new evidence or something. But I'm pretty sure that now this is now they've drawn a line under it.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, this isn't good enough. And a lot
No.
of and obviously they've got ties of Xbox now. Microsoft have trying to buy them out, trying to right the ship, so to speak. But as
Yeah.
long as that Bobby Kotick is in charge of Blizzard, that company will never change.
Yes.
They've probably made all their staff sign some NDNR agreement where they're not allowed to say anything to anybody, or they lose their jobs, they lose their livelihood. They won't be able to work in the sector again. They're going to be doing some nefarious practices um, on the back of this. I don't trust their as far as I can throw that company. Once a bad egg, always a bad egg, and once you have the rot in the company, it's still sitting at the top. That's only going to stem all the way down like bad roots. And no matter how much they say they've changed, no matter how much they say they've weeded it all out, they
He'll always
haven't.
have that
It's gonna
repetition.
it's gonna be there no matter what. They're gonna have those idiots. They've all got their jobs still. All those nasty arse, forget about sorry, Steve, arseholes who have been vindictive in their, compliance and the whole thing, gotten away with scot free. And I don't want to be disingenuous here, but literally murder with
Mm.
the poor soul that got affected by it and so many others. And it's just not on. It's basically like slap on the wrist. There you go. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
Now go back to your classroom. That's
Yes.
effectively what this is.
It's not fair on anyone for that, and I just hope that Microsoft can, do, you know, kick Bobby out or do
Yeah.
something. Yes, they can't have that. They need no. They need to change it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're never gonna like Blizzard are just gonna have a bad reputation. And no, even like you said, if they say they've gone bare and stuff, no one's gonna believe them.
No. No.
So it's yeah, they just gotta get rid of. They gotta get rid of you know the the bad people and you know
Yeah.
it's almost like Microsoft buying them. It's almost hopefully it can start a
Yeah.
new
It
journey.
might not
Like
even go through though. That's the thing.
yeah,
They're being Microsoft. Their deal is actually being investigated by some. Um, I can't remember the name. There's a company and there's somebody um, investigating the whole transaction. So it's being overseen, and
oh
it's
okay,
been like delayed, so to speak. So there's interference with it, so it might not even happen. So
okay,
the whole like Microsoft to the rescue, sort out Blizzard. Even if Microsoft do buy Blizzard, I'm pretty sure they're just going to leave them alone because with Bob, what's his name? Phil Spencer has already
Yeah.
been talking to Bobby Kotick, and they're all pally wally and on TV, like they're all like chummy wummy, and they've already had talk conversations and stuff about what they'll do once the merger goes ahead, and
yeah,
the fact that he's willing, even though he openly criticized Bobby Kotick and Activision, and it's such a double standard to sit there and slate somebody like that in their business practices and how they act, and then turn around and go, actually, can we buy you? Can we have a good deal? I'll give you some bonuses. How about that? Whatever they've just talked about, because obviously he's gone, well, I ain't going nowhere. So that
yeah,
if you want to buy Blizzard, you've got to go through me. So it's it's
yeah,
to
yeah,
me that paints a bad light on Phil Spencer. To me, willing
yeah,
willing to deal with somebody who is complicit and literally completely brain dead in his complete compliance and all of this stuff that's happened and all of these things that have happened to all these sport. Th- Most companies are built from the ground up, a foundation of a quality workforce. They wouldn't be where they are now if it wasn't for the people below them, and they treat them like they're nothing and less than nothing. And it's absolutely disingenuously heartbreaking to see these companies that can literally give their employers 3 or 4 times more wages than they on the less than average. I should point out they got their staff members living in car parks, in their cars, in trailers, traveling God knows how far to work and back on less than livable wage. And this
Yeah.
bloke sitting in a boardroom with hundreds of millions in his bank account, bonuses galore, laughing his way arse off all the way to the bank to finally be rid of the lawsuit that should have ended his career and most of the higher ups in Blizzard, and yet they're all walking away scot free, and it's not acceptable. And I think people should be up in arms about this because this is not acceptable.
No, definitely not. I agree 100% there, and we just have to see what happens really, and you know, hope that yeah, we can't. We just have to watch and see, really, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if you have anything else to say
No,
about it.
no. Well, I don't want to talk about it too much more,
Yeah,
to be honest, because I think it
that's fair.
speaks. Well, I mean, it sort of speaks for itself as what
Yes, yeah,
it already is and what it's out there.
yes.
So yeah.
So I, I I don't have any news myself. Do you guys have any more news? Except I will tell my
Um,
joke
Oh,
of the
I've
week.
got some funny news.
funny
I've got
news.
some
We
Okay,
got some
I've
funny
got some.
news.
go ahead.
Let's end on a more positive vibe,
More
shall we say?
positive.
Yeah,
Right. So moving on. Obviously the popularity of Elden Ring is through the roof,
Yep.
and oh
yeah,
hell, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
The one of the directors of Elden Ring has come out and openly criticised a fan mod that has been so well done,
yeah.
um, that he actually thought it was an actual crossover. It's somebody has made a Tekken mod for Tekken because obviously Bandai Namco is the same parent company as
Yeah.
Elden Ring, and they've put
Yeah,
the character models of Elden Ring into Tekken. So
yeah.
you've got all the characters from Elden Ring fighting each other. Um, and they actually thought he had a double take because he thought it was a crossover he didn't know about. And
Okay.
the guy the mod dude is ecstatic of how it's been
Received.
take perceived, and it's actually really really well done. I'm trying to get the trailer up now, for it,
Yeah,
and it's actually ridiculously how good it is. um
yeah. That's all.
so yeah, it's a bit of fun, you want to see the characters from Elden Ring beat each other up. You can download the mod pack off his Twitter feed. um
That's cool.
the guy that's made it is called Ultra Boy,
All right.
and
Yeah.
he's on Twitter, and he's got loads of mod packs. But Second Seven Elden Ring, who would have thought that, eh? And it looks
Yeah.
really really good.
Wow,
The
that's
fact
incredible.
the fact that it just looks like it's come straight out of a crossover,
Yeah.
and that is actually should be. I reckon it should be a crossover. This looks amazing. I'd pay for
Yeah,
this. This
yeah.
is just I think there's a good shout for
A good
crossover,
opportunity here.
if for crossovers and fighting games to have the Souls like genre come in and put its characters. You could have some crazy ass looking bosses, couldn't you? You could have some
Yeah,
crazy ass events with this sort of stuff.
that's
Kudos to
incredible.
the guy that made it. Honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, no, it can't be that good. No one's done that. There's a
Yeah,
difference in night and day between what one person can do. You know, I know
yeah,
it's taking established models from a game, but still to encode them in the frames of all the attacks and literally pitch perfect with the hats, with the weapons, and it all looked seamless. That takes some doing in the 3D rendering, honestly. Um,
yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's always fun, isn't it? When you see a popular game being turned into a mod and the developers think it's real and think it's an actual endorsement when it's not. It's just
Yeah,
and then turn around and
That
say, can you please stop it? It's too good. You'll
it,
confuse people.
it was
They'll think it's real.
yeah.
And
That's really cool. That's awesome. I
then
love that.
leading on to that, there was on the 1st of April there was a story that came out, um, the Witcher cookbook
Oh.
that people thought was a joke is actually real. So you're going to be able to make all the recipes that all the foods and stuff, or somewhat similar, uh, in the Witcher. There is a D&D cookbook as well, if you didn't know, which is
Ah.
also really really interesting, and it has some fantastical recipes in it. And I, for one, can't wait to try orc bacon, which is from the D&D book, which is honey glazed bacon, cooked in a way that it's crispy, and it sounds so nice. You put it that with whatever you want, and I was just like, yeah, this is great. And then wonder what we're going to get out of the Witcher cookbook.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get Yennefer's sloppy seconds?
Oh
Oh
god.
God. Oh yeah. Um, right.
Right, sorry.
Okay. So yeah, can I whilst you're mentioning that, can I quickly add this as a final piece? I just
Yes.
wanted to mention this because we are fairly big Phasmophobia fans, and we do
Right.
normally always report on its updates. I want to report on yesterday's update. Today, as we record this, is the 2nd of April, so yesterday was 1st of April. Let's take that into consideration.
Oh.
Okay,
the
this is actually fantastic.
Okay.
I'm going to go through I'll go through it as quickly as I
Oh
can.
yeah, I've seen
Right.
this. Yeah.
Just to be clear, these. Okay, right. So just ignore that part. Right. So, I'm going to put this on my screen anyway, but I will talk through it for anyone who's listening, so you're not actually missing. Right. So there has been 3 locations: a lighthouse, a small location with 8 rooms, a fun fair, a medium outdoor map featuring mini games, a house of mirrors, and completely interactive haunted fun house. A church, a medium location with a large open hall, perfect for losing ghosts and items. Graveyard with dynamically generated gravestones for every previous death on your account. Which I love that. New ghost identities have been changed. Right, the spirit. As we know, the spirit loves a smudge stick. The smudge stick has now been increased for 5 minutes on all spirits. The revenant speed. The revenant speed now sprints when the prayer sprints, setting them to the maximum speed. The revenant's grace period is now 1 second. The twins ghost will now join the team and help with the investigation. The mimics now the mimics mimic all ghosts at the same time and always have every strength and weaknesses. The Raiju will now speed up as long as the fuse box is on. When they're switched on lights, and when players are using walkie-talkies. Poltergeist, the poltergeist now throw players.
Oh, that'd be so cool if that was...
Right, Obeki, the Obeki, we're having some trouble changing forms as they were too shy. So we're giving them an encouragement speech, and now they think they are ready to change in front of players. Obeki will now change ghost models every second during the event of a ghost hunt. The truck mechanics added an open world area where you can drive back and forth to each location. Added a shop location where you have to drive to in order to buy your equipment. You must now bring all the equipment back to the truck or you will lose them. It has a possession mode, a brand new game mode where you can play as the ghost in a 1v4 competitive fight to the death against other players. During hunts, players that are taking or have equipment turned on will glow red through walls. The ghost player will be able to talk to investigators through the spirit box. I would love that to actually be true. Oh, please.
That would be so funny if that was true.
This would be such a cool
this is actually
mode
really cool.
to add.
Added,
That'd be so cool.
added equipment, Ghost E-Ball, a red white sphere like item that can be used to capture a ghost in exchange. In addition, for rewards, or can be trained to become the very best. I'm going to quickly move on. There's also going to add a wristwatch, a watch that tells you the time.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, there is there's quite a lot to actually read
Oh
through,
my
but
there
I
is
just
a lot,
I
yeah.
just felt that this was one of the best April Fools, and yes, it is an April
Yeah.
Fools.
Yeah,
You can
that's
now
awesome.
you can now press N to dance. I love that bit. You can now go prone by pressing Z key to hide under bed.
I saw one where it said, where was it? Oh, I lost it. No, I lost. Fix a bug where you couldn't jump.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Some of
That was
yeah.
so
There was a
good.
bug where you couldn't jump. There, a bug where players could hold 3 items instead of 2.
Oh well.
The flashlights were staying on even when you when in your pocket. So it's like,
I love it.
I love that they
That's
did
so
this. This is
fun.
kudos to the Connect game team, just because they put this out there because I heard about this through I follow NSIM as well, who's one of the biggest Phasmo streamers. There are
Yeah.
other streamers out there, just in case people weren't aware, but one of the biggest streamers who actually plays with a lot of devs anyway, so he knows a lot of devs. Like for instance CJ and DK Niter as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's had him in his streams quite a lot. So I came home last night and I
Yeah.
turned on Steam. I was like, oh, there's an update. I didn't read it, so I didn't know about it. So I read about it and I was like, oh, as soon as I read it, I went, April 4. I went, oh. So it's not real. It's not real, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was the best April Fool's joke I've seen on Steam as well.
Yeah,
It's just brilliant.
that's
Some of them were
awesome.
so awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to add that
That's awesome. I love that so much.
as a great sort of April
It's
Fool's.
awesome. But I'm also disappointed because I wanted new locations.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
locations sound awesome.
Oh, I was like, yes, expeditions, lighthouse, yes,
Yes.
and then I get through it, and I was like, oh, it's fake.
It's
Oh.
fake. I think it's fake. But yeah.
Awesome.
Had me going in the
They
first couple
are-
of paragraphs. So.
They are actually reworking the VR. That is genuine. That was part of a thing that they did mention, but they are genuinely working the whole VR at the moment. So if anyone's got VR and Phasmo and you've been playing it recently, they are reworking it. So yeah, look forward to that at some point. I don't have VR in Phasmo. I'd love to. Just as a new experience, really, more than anything. I'd love to play the core game in
Yeah.
VR. Not so much the update.
that-
I'd love to get the vanilla version just to see how that changes as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, anyway, there
Awesome.
you go. I just felt like I wanted to add that, as it is the 2nd of April as we're recording this or broadcasting live.
Yeah.
And so yesterday was the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. That's brilliant. Love it. But yeah, okay, that's me done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Should I say a joke or is that
Well,
enough?
I think it's the lead nicely into joke of the week now, Beth.
Go on,
Okay,
Zach.
go.
all right. Okay. All right. Got a good one as always. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't know if I've said this before, so if I have, it's gonna be embarrassing. How do you make a tissue dance? You put a little bee in it. Whoa.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Watch those.
I was
w-
I was
uh,
oh dear, I was gonna say I'm gonna say it anyway. I was playing Weird West earlier and a tumbleweed came through and I was just like,
oh yeah,
Beth,
tumbleweed. That's it.
Beth, are you in my chat? Beth, there's
Oh
a
my
tumbleweed.
Oh my god, really? I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
tumbleweed.
it. So we're done on
Awesome.
as always at the end of the once we get to the end of the joke, that's it. We'll just close up by saying, has anyone got any socials that they want to tell us about? do you want to let people know what you're doing, where you are, if you're streaming? 3D, let's go with you first this week.
Yes, as usual, it's on twitch.tv/3D show. And as mentioned earlier, I am playing through Resident Evil 8. So come and watch me cry like a literal baby at the giant baby bit, which I'm going to be getting to on Tuesday at 9 p.m. And yeah, there'll be other stuff. And as usual, Thursday will be more story time, spoopy stories. Come and join in there at 9 p.m. I hope to see you.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Excellent. And Beth, are you streaming any more of
Uh,
Teeny Tiner? Teeny Tiner?
yes, teeny
Teeny
Dana.
Tiner?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stream that a little bit more. My goal is to stream at least twice this week. Next week, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing, but follow me on Twitch, Pizza Beth, and yeah, just look out for my stream.
Excellent. And as for me myself, I try to stream at least twice in the weekend, or at least once. I'll try and play a game on a Saturday, and then obviously the podcast, as we know, of 9 p.m. every Saturday, as much as I can, at least, as long as, fingers crossed, I can still continue to do that. And on a Sunday, yeah, I try and do Sunday at least twice a day, 3 till 6, and then I normally do about 8, half 8 till late. We usually pick a horror game, and I usually do a little bit of a community thing on that. You know, sometimes I get the communities involved, but like during the day, tomorrow I've got a game that I do want to play. So yeah, if anyone's around on the 3rd of April, being the date as it is. I know we shouldn't normally mention the dates because it's a podcast and it's recorded, and you know it's kept in the vault somewhere.
Archive.
Archive. It's archived. But yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/funnybitsboy. That's a BOY. Just for anyone who was wondering how that was spelt at the end. And yeah, you can always send me a message if you want. At funnybitsb on Twitter, or you can even message the podcast at Bits Podcast 1 over on Twitter as well. Yeah, but otherwise that's us done for the week. That is the 22nd episode done and dusted.
Awesome.
Just thank you both for being here. Thank everyone for being there, watching or listening, and we look forward to seeing you all again next week at 9. Until then, goodbye for now. Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye. Alright, Alright, I need